We're joined by Randy Neilson, president of CityServe Canada, and he's here to tell us about this collaborative initiative that is meeting the basic needs of Canadians from coast to coast. It's amazing. Randy, thank you so much for being here today.
Bill, it's such a pleasure for me to be here with you.
Yeah. Well, you're the president of an organization called CityServe. So tell us a little bit about how it got started, how you got involved.
CityServe really is a collaborative network of charities all across Canada. We're working to really help people that are so vulnerable in challenging situations every single day. We receive goods in kind from some of the largest retailers in our nation, ones that really care about society, want to have a social presence to be able to add value. Some of the goods are returned items, some of them are shelf pulls, ones that are surplus. But we find that they fit the needs of the people around us in such a dramatic way, really making a difference from all the way from Quebec into the far north, all the way out into Western Canada.
You know what I love about it? It's taking the excess of North American resource and meeting the needs of the most vulnerable. And I love that about how you're leveraging something that is happening. Instead of wasting it, you're leveraging it for kingdom purposes. That is so great. So I guess as you serve needs, obviously you'd see what Canada is going through. What are some of the greatest needs you're actually seeing and perceiving right now?
You know, people are really focusing on food insecurity, on a lot of the new Canadians coming in, immigrants coming in, all of that. What I found that all across the country, there are the same needs. People are hopeless. They don't see where there's an answer for the problem. Even young people now don't see a future. But guess what? God always has a future for them. He always has a way. And we look at what God has put in our hands as the wealth of the world that's laid up for the righteous, not just for us to benefit, but so that we can help the most vulnerable. And so we're actively giving out, blessing those through others, through charities and churches across the country. Just this last 2 days ago, I got a call on my cell phone from a woman that's actively involved with a whole group of ones that have come from offshore and cried out, "Can you help us?" We went to the warehouse, loaded up her minivan with stuff, and it was right out the door to help people.
I love that. Well, we're even experiencing that in our own church. We're being able to bless and meet the needs of those in our community. And I think that's the power, right? Jesus said, just even giving a cup of cold water in my name. And so I'm curious about pods. Now, what are pods, and how are local churches making an impact using this resource?
Well, God loves order, right? And so we have what we call hubs. That's our warehouse, and we have them from, again, coast to coast almost. And then the pods are a local church or charity, mainly churches, that find some space where they can receive some goods in quantity, and then they can mobilize their local believers to take those goods out into the community around them, to their friends, their neighbors, their co-workers. Wherever they see a need, they're able to actually be the hands and feet of Jesus.
Right, so if a church or someone watching today wants to get involved, they could become a pod, connecting to a hub where you'll give resources that may fit needs that they have in their local communities.
Absolutely. What we're finding is it's not only the meeting of needs that's mobilized in the church, it's the mobilizing of the believers to do the acts. We love that Jesus went about doing good.
Yeah, well, and I think what's great about this is it gives an easy opportunity for the gospel to be seen and experienced practically. And in our context, we believe it's just a tool that God has given us to actually touch the hearts, because we all know the deepest need is spiritual needs, right? So how can our viewers get involved? Maybe if they're interested or curious about that.
Well, we have a website. It's just cityserve.ca. They can connect with me personally if they want at info@cityserve.ca. We find that there are business people in every church that want to get involved, some truckers that want to participate and help this be transported around. We're into First Nations areas across Canada as well, helping them. So there's areas to volunteer. There's being a hub. If you're a leader in a church, we'd love to talk to you and just see how we can mobilize you and supply for your community.
Okay, and this is all part of the strategic partnership initiative. So maybe talk a little bit about that too. What does that look like?
Well, we have retailers, manufacturers that supply for us, always willing to receive more because there's so many needs. And then we have business people that want to help financially, but some with the resources they have, the mobilization they have. But the biggest one is the local churches and community groups. I loved community groups, but the churches are in every neighborhood, Bill. They're the ones that are on the ground. They know the real need. And I believe this is God's opportunity to impact this generation in a way where his people can express compassion, but do it in practical ways, and still, no limitations, share their faith.
Well, I love it. I mean, just a quick story on it. From my situation, we have a lot of new Canadians in Niagara Falls, and we were able to go to a hotel where many of them were staying, get them on a bus, bring them to our space, bless them with needs, and they were blown away. Why would you do this? And it gave us the opportunity to say in a very tangible, practical way, just because God loves you and we love you too. So do you have a great story, one quick story about something that's happened?
A Spanish family just came in from Mexico, and we gave some goods to one of the churches. They took it out, and the people were so blessed that the whole family gave their heart to Jesus right on the spot. Can you imagine that? Just because of the compassion of God's people.
Well, I believe in that. When people see the love of God, right? That's what Jesus said. They'll know you're my followers by how you love one another. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for the amazing work that you are doing. We're cheering you on. And again, if you're watching, I want to encourage you, get involved. Look it up. What was the website again?
It was CityServe.ca.
CityServe.ca, and there's probably links how you can get involved as a church or as an individual. You're making a major difference, and I just want to express appreciation on behalf of 700 Club Canada for all that you do. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you so much, Bill. Privilege.